474.
Welcome back. You're listening to Get Down to Business. I'm your host, Shalom, Klein. We are powered by Tandem HR, your solution center. You can find them at tandemhr.com or give them a call, 630-928-0510. So I'm joined here in studio by Mike Hale and Michelle Bauman. Mike is a Scout executive for Boy Scouting of America, and Michelle Bauman, who's a volunteer on the membership committee, I understand. And both of you are quite passionate about scouting. And as I understand, for good reason, because you are really helping shape future generations, which is really, really exciting. So welcome to Get Down to Business.
Well, thank you very much for having us.
Absolutely. So, Mike, tell us a little bit for our listeners that don't know much about Boy Scouts of America, what you guys do.
Well, so when people think about scouting, they think about the outdoors. We're way more than that. We use the outdoors as a laboratory to do a lot of camping. But we're all about leadership, developing young leaders, developing good citizens, developing good role models. And so scouting has been around for over 100 years, and we plan on being around a long time. And we work real hard to stay relevant in today's society, work real hard on developing young scientists and mathematicians through our STEM program. We think we do a lot, and a lot for the parents, a lot for the fabric of the community. And
Mike, everybody has a story of why they're involved in something. Why did you get involved in scouting?
I've been in scouting my whole life. It's an avocation that it's hard to explain. It's something that I've seen the value. I saw the value with my family. When I was growing up, I see the value with my kids. Both my sons were involved in scouting. Both my daughters are involved in venture scouting, which is a co-ed program. And so you see them growing up. You just see them developing great traits that hopefully last a lifetime.
Michelle, I mentioned Michelle Bauman is a volunteer involved in scouting. And as I understand, you're a mom, and your children are involved in scouting as well. I'll follow up with that question to Mike. What did you see in scouting that convinced you that it's a good use of the? I can imagine as a mom, you're running from place to place and running from activity to activity. Why did you get your kids involved in scouting?
Well, I got my kids involved because someone asked me to join scouting. They were telling me what an amazing program it is for my son, but also what it could do for a family. I never imagined that I'd be going camping with my son, that I would be doing all these amazing adventures with my family. My whole family went camping. My whole family does these activities together. And I have a younger son, too, so he could not wait for his opportunity to be like his big brother. Yeah. I cannot say how scouting has changed my life. It's just such an amazing program. Without scouting, I really don't know what my kids would be like.
So I want to talk about the values. You're both involved in the Northeast Illinois Council, and I know that there's a lot of opportunities for kids in northeastern Illinois to get involved in scouting. What are some of the values, Michelle, that you've seen your children come back with after an experience?
Leadership, confidence, pride. To be able to do something they never thought they'd be able to do, even catching a fish. My oldest one caught the smallest fish at a Cub Scout fishing derby. He was so proud of himself. He caught a fish. Might not have been the biggest fish, but it was the smallest fish.
Better than I could do, that's for sure.
Scouting teaches them confidence. It's not always about being number one. It's doing the best that you possibly can. And I've seen that in my kids. My oldest one, he's an Eagle Scout, and he's worked his way to that. And my other son, he just loves scouting for what it has to offer. Not everyone's going to become an Eagle Scout, but what he is learning is going to stay with him forever. I am so proud of my boys, of what scouting has done, but it's changed me.
That's fantastic.
It really has.
And I know I've seen a lot of pictures over the past few months and years of scouting groups or chapters. You'll have to educate me on the terminology. Visiting at the White House and getting some very prominent attention. I have to assume that's for good reason. Scouts turn out to be fantastic leaders in the community. Can Mike, do you mind giving us some examples of, I guess, some of your scouts that have gone on to do great things.
So the BSA has done quite a few studies recently on the values of scouting to young men and women in the country, and those studies have shown that scouts that remain in the program 3 to 5 years become better parents, become more interested in their faith, become college graduates, successful in their careers. Many examples of scouts that have gone on to do some incredible things. Steven Spielberg's an Eagle Scout. About 3/4 of FBI agents are Eagle Scouts.
Amazing.
Many astronauts are Eagle Scouts, and many governmental leaders have gone on to become Eagle Scouts, and then became interested in government through scouting.
Well, clearly, many of the children in northeastern Illinois are in very, very good company. And Mike and Michelle, I want to make sure we have so much more to ask you, and so much more that we need to learn together. So, Chicago, don't touch that dollar. We're going to be joined once again by Mike Hale and Michelle Bauman talking about scouting, Boy Scouts of America. And we just heard from Mike a little bit about some of the examples. Steven Spielberg was a scout. FBI agents were scouts. You're in very good company. So once again, don't touch that dial. You're listening to Get Down to Business. After the break, we're going to talk some more about Boy Scouting of America.